Siyanamukela ohlelweni lwe-Ithala Edu platform enilethulelwa ngezilokotho ezinhle Ithala kanye ne-Go Digital SA Foundation. Thamelani izifundo ze-mathematics, i-accounting, isiZulu ulimi lwasekhaya, isiNgisi, i-FAL, i-physical science, i-geography, ezobuchwepheshe, i-computer applications technology kanye namaklasi e-learner wellness okungukuzilolonga ngokomqondo kanye nomzimba. Lezi zifundo zethulwa nsuku zonke kusukela ngoMsombuluko kuya ngoLwesihlanu kuqala ngehora lesine kuya kwelesihlanu u4 kuya ku5 ntambama nangoMgqibelo kusukela ligamanxe ihora lesishiyagalombili 8:30 kuze kugamanxe ihora lokuqala emini 1:30. Zithameleni futhi lezi zifundo emsakazweni Ukhozi FM njalo ngoLwesine kusukela ngo9 kuya ku10 ebusuku. Ningangena ekhasini lethu lika Facebook elithi Go Digital SA_movement noma kwi-YouTube uthi Go Digital SA Foundation. Siyethemba nizolijabulela lolu hlelo oluhlose ukunifundisa futhi lulekelele kulokho enikufunda ezikoleni zenu. Luthokozeleni ke lolu hlelo nimeme nabo bonke abanye abafundi bebanga le-12 grade 12 ukuze nabo bazuze kulo futhi nonke nicijeleke ukuphumelela kwizivivinyo zenu zokuphela konyaka.
Siyabulisa bafundi bakamatebletsheni. Namhlanje sizokwenza i-cash budget. If isikhathi sasivumela sizophinde futhi senze nane projected income statement. Kodwa njengoba nazi ukuthi it's impossible ukuthi ungenza i-cash budget without data collection. So we're also going to have a look at the data collection and then we move on to the cash budget. It's part of paper 2. We're going to write paper 2 on Wednesday next week, 30th of September. So let's have a look at the cash budget, data collection, as well as projected income statement, right? I'll give you the rules. What is it that we need to do, or you need to check if you are doing this cash budget, right? Okay, right here, cash budget. What is the purpose of doing the cash budget? That's the first question for 2 marks, right? This is a cash budget, right? Cash budget. What is the purpose of doing a cash budget? Right? Purpose of doing, or the main aim of doing cash budget. This is the purpose of doing the cash budget. So the purpose of doing a cash budget is to check whether the inflow and outflow. Yes, is to check the inflow and the outflow of cash, because there on top we have the receipts, right? And then we have the payment. And then down there we are having the surplus. Okay, perhaps maybe let me just do a format of the cash budget, like things that we need to know if you are doing the cash budget. Let me just show you skeleton, and therefore some of the calculations that are very important. So let's say maybe we have this cash budget, right? Say we are dealing with 2 months, November and December. Okay, wait, when you come to the months November, December, you have the receipts. You have the receipts first. You have the receipts, at receipts, cash receipts. Say cash receipts. Cash receipts. Okay, Under cash receipt, anything that is cash receipt, like cash sales. I'm going to show you how to calculate the cash sales. Cash from debtors, coming from debtors collection. Cash from debtors. Cash from debtors, as well as any other income like commission income. Commission income. Right, we have commissioning income there. Right. So all these figures, you record these figures here. You record also these figures here. Let's say you record everything here. We look at the activity, record these figures, record the figures, and then we add this. We call it total receipts now, right? We're adding, so it's total receipts. So if you add this, you get the total for this one. So we call this now total receipts. Total receipts. Right. After total receipts, we are going to the payments. Cash payments. It's all about cash here. Cash payments, like the CRJ and the CPJ. Cash payments. Right? Cash payments. Under cash payments, there are two things that are coming here. First, that are first priority. The cash payments. We have cash purchase of a stock. Cash purchase. We have to purchase. Remember, purchase means to buy. Cash purchased of stock, as well as payment to creditors. Payment creditors. Payment to creditors. Therefore, we can have any other payments, like any other payments, like the expenses. Let's say, for instance, we have wages and salaries. Wages and salaries. Right? We have sundry. Expense or expenses. Loan payment. Let's say maybe we can have a loan that you have to pay. Loan payment or repayment. Okay, loan payment. Long as if there's a payment here, right? So you are adding all this. You are adding all these figures here for both months respectively. And then now you are having what? Total payments. Total. You are having total payments. Total payments, right? So the total here will be total payments. You add this, you add all this total. So we have now total payments, right? Remember, and then now for just so that you can master this, if you want this thing to be easy, you can say where there's total receipts, you can say A. You can call this A. And then where there's payment, you can say B. Now we have to say A minus B, right? Is equal to what? Is equal to surplus or deficit. So now we're getting surplus or deficit. Short form. We are saying A minus B. A minus B, right? A minus B is equal to surplus or deficit, right? So now you are saying this total here, right? This total here less this total over here, right? You get these results. Bona ne? Phinde futhi nangapha ku-December, you do the same, right? A minus B, uthole surplus or deficit. A minus B is equal to surplus or deficit. And then you'll be having an opening bank account, right? Opening bank balance. Bank balance. Opening bank balance. Okay. And then you get what? A closing bank balance. That's what you must know if you are doing. Then the closing, saying now this, right? It depends whether this figure it's in bracket. You are saying this plus this one, you get this one, right? So which means you are saying surplus or deficit plus the opening is equal to the, okay, put C plus the opening balance is equal to closing. If mhlawumbe closing yakho was in bracket, so iza la futhi hamba nesign yakhona ekuma bracket. So nathi into ofuna ukuyazi uma wenza i-cash budget. Aleke kakhulu ke, at least usazi i-structure, how to calculate the cash budget. Now we go to the debtors collection, right? Debtors collection, nansi figure yakhona, nansi la ama figures lawa thatha from the debtors collection. Yabona mfundi, nawa lama figure la from the debtors collection. Okay, asibhekeni ke manje ke i-debtors collection, we do a questionnaire. Try to make it bigger so that uzobona. We do the question, right, of a debtors collection, right? Debtors collection, right? That's a question yakho. That's a question. Okay, maybe like before we go to the question, let me just guide you. Let me just give you the rules. Debtors collection. But it's very important to know the rules before even you start playing the game, right? So debtors collection, period. Debtors collection as schedule. Right. Okay, there's a structure here. We have month here. So let's say maybe we have September, right? You have October, futhi uphinde ube no November, right? December, right? These are months. Besuba nama credit sale. Why credit sale? Because vele udayise ngesikweletu. It's a debtors collection. Debtors goods sold on credits. So we have a credit sale. Credit sales. So we have November la, phinde sibe not December. The structure. Okay. So it's no November, right? So we have September, October, November, December. Yeah, these are our months. I'm just making an example. Okay, so we'll do the question and then we'll see how to do this. Okay, some of the figures were given la mfundi. Figures mawanikeziwe ungayihluphi ungalokho ama ukuapprove, you'll be wasting time, right? Unikezwe a figure, just work with that figure. 200,000, we're given 200,000 here, right? We're having also October 250. We have also November These are the figures that were given, right? These are the figures that were given. This is an answer book here, exactly the same what I wrote, right? And we were told on this answer book, show that the question you can see here now. Okay, debtors are given 30 days, right? Told here that debtors are given 30 days to settle their accounts. However, past trend have revealed the following collection schedule from debtors. So we have 50% pay in 30 days in the month following the sale, subject to 10% discount, right? We will also have 45% in 60 days in 2 months after the sale. You have 5% is written off after 60 days. Okay, so how many times are we collecting here? We are collecting twice. Okay, because some of the things are already done there. So what we have to do, Tina, we have to convert November to the credit sales, as well as, yes, let's convert November to the credit sales. Convert to November here. Then we also do December to be a credit sales. So on November, we do have total sales of 500,000. 500,000 there for November. These are total sales, right? And then we are told that head sales amounting to 40% of all sales. So which means 60. So from the question now, right? So which means 60. So okay, let's convert that total sales. Our total sales here, it's what? It's 500,000. 500,000. 500,000, right? Times by 60. Also 40% is for cash. Times 60. 60. So which means November credit sales are 300,000. 300,000. These are November credit sales. These are November credit sales. 300,000. Then you manage to get that one. So as I'm saying, you are given the total sales of 500,000, while the cash sales is 40%. To convert it, okay, must convert. So we are collecting here twice. We are collecting for 50,000, of which there's a discount of 10%. We are also collecting for 45,000 after 60 days, right? So we are in November, right? In November, what they are saying there, okay, nothing to we as foot as part of the rule in full, okay, so that you can make your life very easy in an exam. Life must be easy in an exam if you know this, okay, very easy. Okay, let me just write it. The collection period, debtors collection, right? On the collection period, as I'm saying here, debtors collection. So we have debtors collection. How many times are we collecting collection? We are collecting twice. We are collecting at 50% with a 10% discount. We are collecting 45% pay in 60 days. So you can even write anti-clockwise here or in an opposite way. So we must start with 45 here. 45%, right? And make it our number 1. Remember, it was the second in the question paper. We're told here that after second month of sale, and then we have 50%. 50% minus 10% discount. So which means we would be 90 here. Because we'll be saying 100% minus 10, right? 100% minus 10% equal to 90%. So we're going to times it by 90. So that's how we have to collect. So now let's go to the question for the debtors collection now, the one that we're doing. How do we collect, right? We are told here on the question that 45% pay in 60 days. So if you are check lapana November, okay, November already, the first one already been done. Okay, for November, usenziwe eyoqala u90 nangu u90. So which means we are coming to the second one. The second one is what? It's 50% after 30 days. Then when is 30 days before November? So it's obvious it's October, right? 30 days before November, it's October. So we are saying now 250, right? We are saying 250. Let me do the calculations here. 250, because the first one it's already been done. 250,000 times by 50%, 50% divided by 100, right? Times by 90, because there was a 10% discount. So whatever that is left from 100% is 90. If it was 5%, therefore times by 95. That's a shortcut, right? Times by 9%. Okay, and then you get your answer. You have your answer now here. So 250. Let's do the calculation quickly. We're saying 250 to 3, right? Times by, or divide by 2, or times by 50, times by 50, divide by 100, right? Times by 90, divide by 100. So you get ifika yakho, that is 112,500. That's our figure. So which means the figure that we have to write here, figure that must come here, 112,500. Right. So you are done with, because we are told here we are collecting just twice. Right. So we go for December. Let's go for December. On December, we can see there's no figure that we are given. All these figures that are red, we're given those figures. Right. We converted this one. That says, how to convert from a total sales? Let me just show you again that this one, we said we do have total sales. We have total sales for November. Total sales for November is 500,000, right? And we are told that 40% is for cash, so it's obvious 60% is for credit. And therefore, if you times, get 300,000. Right. That's what you must do. So that's a figure over there. That's a figure there. That's a figure lapha phezulu. Uyithola kanjani? Then asiye kuDecember. Ngiyamthanda uDecember ngoba akanalutho, uclean. So yonke into ofuneka sizenzele thina. So siphinde futhi ke siyabuka lapha kuDecember, ngisho sithe si-collector anti-clockwise siyaphezulu. Mhlawumbe let's say ubunezwe first collection, the second, the third. Number 3 become number 1, 2 it's over about 2, therefore u1 is about 3. Balula uma uzocollecta kanjalo bese usuyafuna making your life very easy. So say this our 145 will be our 1 and then 50. Okay, so siyafunda next 245. They are saying 2 months after the sale. So when is 2 months before December? It's October, right? So which means we're going to say 1 here, and so when is 2 months? So that is 1 and 2. 1 and 2 there. So we're going to start from there for this one from November. There it's November. At 1 and 2, and then 60 days. Okay. So here, these are the calculations. Let me write the calculations here. Okay. For look at your credit sales, right? Khumbula kufanele understand ukuthi kuthiwani lapha. I'm saying here 45% pay in 60 days, 2 months after the sale. 2 months after the sale, when is that? That is in October. Right? It's October, and therefore in the month after the sale, that is November. So la uzofika ukuthi 300, not 300, 250, 250, the first one, times by 45, 45%, right? You get your answer, bala sonke. And then eyesibili uthi 300, what times by 50%, times by 90%. Then uthole i-answer yakho. Siwabaleke lama answers lawa sibone mfundi ukuthi sithola bani for the debtors collection. Mangabe usuyibaleke, mean your debtors collection is going to the receipts. So you are saying 250,000 times 45 times 45%, get 11250, right? And then in the UT 300,000 times 50% times 90%, get 135,000. So lama answers wakho ozowathola. So lama answers lawa uzowabhala lapha on your cash budget mfundi. Uza kwi-cash budget yakho lekade lesiyenza la, siyabona ama-answers, ama-answers wethu athola laphana eyokuqala. So mina will use black. Let me just use the black. Use black here. So sithole 250, and sathola 013. That's what we have, right? What we have here, and then we are totalizer. Put the line here. Put the lines. The total. So we're dealing with these two totals here. There's a figure. Ama-figures wethu lawa esizowasa kuphi kwi-cash budget as debtors collection. Money esicollecte kubantu esibadasele ngesikweleti kuthiwa ama-debtors, right? So if usuya-add-ke manje la from 90,000 plus 11,500, and then you add the futhi la ku-December, leya mali iyona-ke sezoyibhala la phezulu as I was showing you i-format. Iyo-ke la total esizoyibhala lapha phezulu. Isuka from debtors collection. Ngicabanga ukuthi-ke uyawazi lokho. Mhlawumbe akwesibaleke together sibone ukuthi sithole bani. So if you add these two, let me just use another color here. Let me use red. If we are add lokhu ko-2 u-90,000, right, plus 11,500, and then uphinde futhi u-add lapha. Okay, so uno-0, that is u-90. So you say 90,000, 90,000, those two figures plus 1,200. So you get 20,500. Okay, iyo le figure sizoyibhala lapha kuNovember la total. Ke sizoyibhala mfundi. Phinde futhi for uDecember no 11,250 plus 5,000. So no 146,250. 146,250. So nathi indlela yokwenza i-debtors collection. Njengoba kade ngishilo nje indlela elula. Uma ucollector kawu-3, futhi ngiphindele le issue ye-collection. Mhlambe utsheliwe laphana thiwa ucollector 3 times. Mhlambe let's say ucollector, let's say it's 18%. The first one from the debtors. Eyesibili mhlambe let's say 1% is 25%, maybe enye or 7%. Like these are all percentages. As soon as wena ubona lento le kufuneka uyimise anti-clockwise, right? So which means You can see here, this is the first one, second, and the third. So mangabe uthotho wena usuya collect umise kanje. Ubona la, u1 wakho will become your 7, right? U2 will become still 25%. Kuba lula uma wenza kanje. Therefore u3 will become 18%. And then bese uyafunda ke equation yakho usuyenzile ama credit sales wakho. Right? Ubona nje ama credit sales abalekile kakhulu, right? Very important. First, you must convert the total sales to the credit sales, and therefore you write the months lawo sokuwanikezwe according to the activity le osukuyenza ngaleso sikhathi. Okay. So ke urex sesinayo ke ifigure esizoyibhala la phezulu. Othi ngibhale la phezulu khona uzobona kuzoba clear because vele besike sathi uyiqalisa format ye cash budget. So ucacile ke la mfundi uzobhala wona le figure le oyitholile. So lapha sithole 1 sithole u20 to 500, right? And then sathola u146 to 50, right? 6 to 50, right? That is our debtors, cash from debtors, right? And then ama cash sales uzofunda futhi equation ukuthi ithini, right? For the cash sales, right? Let me just show you how to deal with the cash sales. So ikhona okubalekile kakhulu uma wenza cash budget. You have to understand ukuthi yini lo sokuyenza. Yabo nje list thing yaka A and uB, ama total receipts wabize ngo A, ama total payments wabize ngo B, right? And then bese uthi uA plus B, therefore it's obvious is equal to C. uC wakho either it's a surplus or deficit, right? And then you are having an opening bank balance. It's obvious they will give you only for 1 month opening bank balance, and then you are the one who's supposed to prove the closing bank balance. So closing bank balance yakho, for instance here we are dealing with November, so closing yakho in November will become the opening on December. Closing yakho in December will become the opening yakho in January. Closing yakho in January will become the opening on Feb. So that's how it is. So it goes like that. So it's very important to understand this. But I will show you our calculations there and there. We want are critical nje lapha nalapha. Okay. Then mhlambe before siqhubeke, i-commission uzobe uyinikeziwe if ikhona i-commission, they will tell you on which month, right? And if we look at the cash payments, let's go on the cash payments. The cash purchase of a stock and payment to creditors. These are the figures that are also important to know how to calculate this. Bafundi ke baya strugglisha kakhulu calculation of these two figures. And it was simple calculator lokho, right? Well, let me just show you in principle how to calculate calculation of cash purchase of stock, right? Ibala kanjani cash purchase of a stock, okay, from the cash budget. Bese siyaqhubeka ne-activity yethu. Okay. Calculation of cash purchased of stock. Calculation of the cash purchase of the stock, right? Calculation of the cash purchase of a stock. Okay. And so figure uthi cost of sales. Cost of sales times by the purchase price, you'll be told, times by the purchased price, but a percentage, purchase percentage, right? And then you get the answer. Okay, then you get whatever answer also you told. That's a formula then, right? And then for the payment to creditors, calculation of payment to creditors. Payment creditors. Remember, our creditors, these are people who supply us on credit. Abantu esithenge kubona ngesikweletu. abuza ngokuthi ama-creditors, right? Kodwa if siyabadayisela ngesikweletu ama-debtors, kodwa ukuthi uyakwazi lokho mfundi, right? So uzophinde uthi nakhona la cost of sales times by the credit sales, right? Percentage, right? Times by credit sales percentage, right? And therefore you must get your answer there. Get your answer. Hence, that's a first calculation. And then khona ngishile lapha phezulu. Angisho lapha phezulu in our cash budget. We have the cash sales. Right? We have the cash sales. So the cash calculation of the cash sales. Calculation of the cash sales. Let me say third one. Calculation of cash sales. Calculation of the cash sales. So we are saying here total sales times by the cash purchase. Times by cash percent. Times by the cash percentage. Therefore, you'll be getting your answer. So izozinto ezo3 ezibalekile lezi kakhulu abafundi futhi bastruggle ngazo okanye abayitholi right. Okay. Let me go back. How to calculate the cash purchase of a stock? Saying the cost of sales times by the purchase percentage. Right? Calculation of the payment to creditors, you're still using the cost of sales, right? Remember, sometimes cost of sales, you can be given ama sales and the gross profit. Then we're able to reverse or to go back. Because you are, in order to get a cost of sales, we have to say sales less cost of sales is equal to a gross profit. And then now you see, let me just show you. There are many ways that they can ask you or they can give you information. Remember, we have to say sales less cost of sales equal to gross profit. Right. So now we are saying, what if you are not given the cost of sales, but you do have the sales? Let's say maybe the sales figure, our sales figure, let's say is 500,000. Say 500,000, this is sales. We don't have the cost of sales, so I'll put a box here, 81. Then our gross profit is 187,500. So we must get this cost of sales because we can see here we are using the cost of sales. How to get that one, right? So it's obviously you have to transpose, isn't it? If you transpose, this one will come here, so the sign is going to change like we are doing in maths, and therefore your cost of sales here would be 312,500. That is basically your cost of sales. You can ask this in different ways where you are expected to reverse, especially at matric level, right, during this time. Right? Remember, because this is not a grade 12 topic only, also start from grade 11, right? Sometimes they can do this. Let me also give you, before we go into the question quickly, total sales. Say total sales, cash sales, right? And then it's obvious we're having what? Credit sales, right? Right. Okay, we are told here, let's say our total sales, like for instance, in our question, our total sales for November, it's 500,000, 500,000, right? And therefore, for cash sales, For cash sales, we are told that cash sales is 40%. So which means here we have 40%. So it's obvious total sales will be always 100%. Right? So it's obvious the credit sales is what? It's 60%. Right? We have to understand this in front. Right? We have to understand this. Sometimes you'll be challenged and able to reverse and go back. Okay. So if you calculate here, you calculate the cash sales here. Right? Let's calculate the cash sales here. Cash sales, right? The cash sales is 500,000. Let's calculate. So our total sales, 500,000. We're trying to prove the cash sales. So we told that cash is 40%. So you times by 40%. So you get 200,000. So here we have 200,000. Right? It's obvious our credit sales will be 300,000. Because if you add these two, you must get this, right? Okay, yes. So we can able to play with this because sometimes you'll be given the credit sales to get the cash sales. So you must take it back to the cash and then, for instance, let's try to calculate from, let's say we don't have any other information, but we have the credit sales and in amount as well as the percentage. You want to get total sales. How are we going to do it? Right? You will say, okay, from here to coming this side, how are we going to calculate? You say where you are going divided by where you are coming from. You are going from where? You can see there it's 100%. So we are saying 300,000 times by 100% divided by 60. You can see. So if you are saying 300,000, right, times by 100, where you are going, you are coming from where? You are coming from 60. Divide by 60. You get this figure here. Right? Vice versa, if let's say uzala ezantsi, noma let's say ufuna ukuzala, let's say unama credit sales in the information, just credit sales, you want to get the cash sales, right? So you can say here where you are going from 40, you are coming from 60. So we're going to say, we said the first one is 300,000 times by 100, you are going from 100, you are coming from 60. So you get 500,000. Then the second one, we're assuming that you are given the cash. So we're going to say, or maybe let's say we're calculating from the credit sales, we want to get the cash sales. So it's simple, 300,000, right? 300,000. Where you are going from 40, you are coming from 60, right? So it's obvious you get 200,000. Yes, like you are doing when you are doing a taxation in the income statement. What you must do here, you must play around with these figures, so on and so forth. Therefore, otherwise your life will be very easy in an exam if you know these calculations. Right? Ngicabanga ukuthi ngi-highlight-ile izinto ey'balulekile-ke la ofuna ukuzazi on cash budget. Into elandelayo manje la, it's a projected income statement. Because I must also talk about the projected income statement. Projected income statement, it's an income statement, the one that you are familiar with, right? The one that you know. But the only thing here, you are doing income statement for the month. You are doing an income statement here for, on the monthly basis. Remember, on paper one, you are also doing a financial or income statement as one of the financial statements. Also here, we do have what? A projected income statement. So that's the one that you are projecting, this one, right? It's a projected, but here it's on the monthly basis. Whatever that you do, it's on a monthly basis. As you see here on my format here, we have sales less cost of sales is equal to a gross profit for the month. just a monthly base, right? Just a month, right? Sales less cost of sales is equal to a gross profit, right? And then other income. So we might have any other operating income. It can be commission income, it can be rent income. So if you add that, I mean, those are the other income. And then we have the operating expenses. We are doing exactly the same than what we're doing on paper one, right? Wages and salaries, sundry expense, depreciation, you see, anything that also an expense there, right? Let's say telephone, stationery, and then you're getting now what? An operating profit. From the operating profit, you attach interest expense, therefore you'll be getting a net profit. So that is the difference between the two, right? It's only that when you are doing a costing or a cost management accounting, you'll be dealing here with an income statement for the month. Unlike in the financial statements, you were doing income statement for the year. Everything that you were doing there, it was for the year. So that is the difference between the income statement, that you are used as well as the one that we are doing now. Okay. Also, you can expect a question from the projected income statement. As I'm saying, it's very simple. If you are given a figure in weeks, or you must times it by 4. If you are given a figure in a per annum, you must divide it by 12 so that you can reduce it to become a month. So where basically you'll be tested. Other than that, it's not a big deal because you understand the income statement. But let me just give you the format at least so that it will be easy. Projected income statement. Okay, I'll continue with the two months again, November and December. November and December. I'll assume that I'm using these 2 months, November and December, right? As I'm saying, you also do the same, right? Like in the normal income statement, we have sales, right? The sales, you record the sales for November, record the figure there for November. We call it sales, or what? What is another term for the sales? Turnover, remember? Turnover. And then you are having cost of sales. Cost of sales. We always less the cost of sales. So this figure here must be in brackets. You can do it simultaneously or with December nakhona you can do the same. Long as if information ikhona, right? December uzoba green, yes. Then now you are getting what? A gross profit. Gross profit. Gross profit. Right. Then from here, you are attaching what? Other income or other operating income. So we are saying other income. Other income or other operating income. Right. So you have can have rent income, commission income, as long as any income here. We have rent income, we have rent income, commission income. So let's say maybe rent income is for both November and December. Put it here. Commission, let's say it's only for December. We do this, but the question will be very clear. Record this figure on top. That's a total. Then now you are having what? A gross income, like what you are doing when you are doing income statement. So now you're having what? Gross. This is a gross income. The gross income now. Check the figure. Now you are adding these two. Get the gross income. right? And then you are having what now? Operating expenses. Operating expenses. So now you are having what? Operating expenses. At operating expenses. Operating expenses. Right? Operating expenses. Therefore, you list the expenses that you have. For instance, let's say maybe we have wages and salaries. Laba bakhokhelwa ngeviki, abanye abahola ngenyanga, right? Then we have sundry expense, as to list few. Sundry expenses. Let's say you also have telephone. Let's say maybe we have also rent expense. I'm just making an example. Rent expense, right? Therefore, you record all these figures. You record all these figures here, right? All these figures, you must record it accordingly. The question will be very clear, telling whether it was for December or November, right? You put it in a box, it like this. Then you add everything inside. You record there on top, right? You must record it here. Operating expenses. So you put it in brackets. Put it in brackets. Now you are minusing. You are saying gross income less this operating expense. Gross income less the operating expense. Therefore, you'll be sitting at what? Operating profit. Operating profit. That's right, operating profit. Please don't write operating profit for the year, because here asenzi income statement emfundi yonyaka, senza on a monthly basis, right? So record ifigure yakho la, ama results akho watsho lapha phezulu, ngothe gross income less operating expenses, right? Sekuyadependa ke, mhlawumbe kwesinye isikhathi unani unama interest income. Interest income. So record le figure interest income, so add. Then le figure le sitholayo I profit before note number 2. This is note number 1. Ngisho mas note number 1 is interest income. So now this is what? Profit before interest expense. Interest expense. So these are the figures, and then you are dealing with interest expense now. Interest expense. So now you have interest expense. You have now interest expense. Let's say we don't have it here for December. And then now you are getting what now? The net profit for the year. The main aim of doing this is to get the net profit for the year. Net profit for the year. So we're having now the last answer there. We call it net profit. Net profit. You are not going to write here net profit for the year, because we are not doing a financial accounting. We are doing a cost management accounting, doing a projected income statement. This is an income statement for the monthly basis. Then you get your answer there at the end. Lokhu nje ufuna ukwazi mfundi kakhulu usazi structure, wazi ukuthi yini eyenziwayo erekhodwayo. Njengoba ngishilo nje nazi izinto ezo4 noma ezo3 ezibalekile kakhulu. Calculation of the purchase of the stock, right? You have to say the cost of sales times by the purchase percentage. Then you get your answer for the cash purchase of the payment. And this figure is going lapha kuma cash payments. Coming here on the cash payments of the cash budget. The first 2 items for the cash budget, very important. Now, the cash purchase of a stock as well as a creditor's payment. And then also the first 2, uma receipt, cash sales as well as debtors collection. Debtors collection, mubonisile, but ngizophinda futhi ngilokhuze ngoba isikhathi sisekhona esincane quickly. So that's how you calculate i-purchase of a stock. And then calculation of the payment to the creditors. You are also saying cost of sales times by the credit sales percentage. You get the figure. And therefore, lapha phezulu on the cash sales, right? Sometimes you'll be given the total sales. We are saying total sales times by the cash percentage. You get the cash sales. Baphinde futhi kwesinye isikhathi bacalculate ini yenza i-debtors collection. Njengoba ngishilo, as soon as kuthiwa mhlawumbe let's say ucollector kawu-3 noma ucollector kawu-4, normally it's 2 or 3 times. Kufanele ukushintshe wena ukumise ngendlela le engithe ukumisa ngayo. For instance, if let's say ngiyalinganisa, mhlawumbe let's say unumber 1 wethu u50%, u2 u70, u3 let's say u40% with u5% discount. This discount, right? 5% discount. Uzokushintsha wena. Uzobhala kanjani? Uzofike uthi your 1 is 40% times by 95% for a discount, because this 100 minus 5, that is 95. U2 will be still 70%. U3, which means uzoba number 1 50%. That's how you must collect. So if wenze kanje ke uzobe wenze abalula kakhulu, kodwa ungakhohlwa ukuthi into efika eqala senze kuqala sishintshe ini senze ama credit sales njengoba kubona la. First you must change everything to be a credit sales. You can see credit sales, convert it, and then you must collect it by using this method ngicela ngayo ukuthi kufuneka uyibambe nje la. Noma wenze kanjalo, make your life very easy. Ama-marks onke uyawathola awakho la total. Paper 2, very simple guys. Nibhale kahle ke saka 30 shimizo ngolesithathu lolo esiya kulo. Yonke into nje ngibona lapho ukuthi izobilula kanjani. Siyabonga kakhulu ke. Uma kukhona mhlawumbe imibuzo nifuna ukuyibuza, ibuze soboyela kini kanjani. Lucky.
Siyathemba nifunde kahle nasithokozela isifundo sethu sanamhlanje. Enisethulelwe ngezidlokotho ezinhle iThala libambisene neGo Digital SA Foundation. Thamelani ke futhi esilandelayo ngesikhathi sifanayo. Ningakhohlwa ukumema nabanye abafundi bebanga le-12 ukuze nabo basizakale kulolu hlelo. Uma ninemibuzo noma nifisa ukuxhumana nathi, ningasithinta ngokufaka imibuzo yenu kwinombolo yethu ye-WhatsApp ethi 068 151 1072. Mfundi, ungakhohlwa ukubhala isifundo obuza ngaso ngaphambi kokubhala umbuzo wakho. Angiyiphinde inamba yethu 068 151 1072. Siyabonga.